This video is going to teach you how to factor trinomials. This one focuses on when a equals 1. So remember, this is a trinomial because it has 3 terms, and we call the coefficient in front of x squared a. So the method we're talking about is when you don't see a number in front of the x squared term. What that means is that a value is 1, and that's when you use this method. The sentence that we talked about in class that you need to remember is that you need to find whether factors of c, the factors of your last number, that combine or add or subtract. Okay, so combine means to add or subtract to give b. So when I look at this question, you just always keep this sentence in mind when we're factoring when a is equal to 1. We need to find the factors of c. In this case, c is 4. Okay, and you have 1 times 4, and you have 2 times 2. So I have to find my factors of 4 that somehow combine to give me b. Okay, so since b is equal to 5, you're thinking, okay, well 1 and 4, that can give me 5, okay, and it gives you positive 5, which is what you're looking for. 2 plus 2 would give you 4, all these things would work out, but if I look here and I say 1 plus 4 equals 5, then that works. So this right there is my factor pair. So I have positive 1 plus positive 4 is equal to positive 5, and this has to work out. Okay? So you have your binomial pairs, and you have x times x. Then you have your factors, which is 1 and 4, and since they had to both be positive, you put plus 1 and plus 4. Now you have to check your answer to make sure that this is right. So anytime you factor, right next to the problem, you should check it to make sure that it works. Okay, so when you check that by foiling, by multiplying the binomials together. Okay, so x times x is x squared. X times 4, positive 4 is plus 4x. Positive 1 times x is plus 1x. And positive 1 times positive 4 is positive 4. So you combine this and you get x squared plus 5x plus 4, which, as long as that's what you started with, and make sure you check your signs, then you have the right answer. So just remember, when you're factoring trinomials, you have to find the factors of the last number that combine to give the middle number. Now when I'm teaching this, the reason why people have a hard time factoring is because they get confused about all the factors. They look and they don't have all their factor pairs. So if I factor this number, or this trinomial, x squared minus x minus 12, it still is going to be the same thing. We need to find our factors of 12. And I'm going to list all of them down every single time. I have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. That's your first step. Find your factors of the last number, which in this case is 12. And they have to combine to give b, which in this case, b is negative 1. So I have to somehow find a way that 1 and 12, or 2 and 6, or 3 and 4 can combine or add or subtract to give me negative 1. So there's no way that 1 and 12 will ever add or subtract to get 1. You'll get 13 or maybe 11, but not 1. 2 and 6, same thing. You can get 4, you can get 8, you can get negative 4, but you will never get negative 1. But with 3 and 4, if I say 3 minus 4, that equals negative 1. Which is exactly what I wanted to do. I need it to equal negative 1. So what that tells you is the 3 needs to be positive 3, and the 4 needs to be negative 4, and that's how you get your negative 1x. So you draw your binomial sets, and you say x times x, because that's going to give you x squared. Then we said plus 3, because we needed a positive 3, and then we needed minus 4. So now remember, you're not done factoring until you have checked your answer. So somewhere else on the paper, you check it. And remember, we're multiplying binomials together, and the way that you guys remember that is you say that we FOIL. And you have x times x is x squared, so far we're good. X times negative 4 is going to be minus 4x. Positive 3 times x is plus 3x. Positive 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. So our signs match, that's good. That means we're on the right track. Then you combine these middle terms and you get x squared minus 1x, which is the same thing as what we started with, minus 12. So that did check. So that tells you that this is your factor pair. So if you just remember the sentence, you need to find the factors of c that combine to give b. You'll be in good shape for factoring trinomials when a equals 1.